Podcast, episode 47. My boy Maddox here
40
just reminded
freaking
me
7, dude.
we're almost at 50. We're almost at 50. We're almost at 50.
What 50 will be in 6 weeks?
Yeah, in a while.
It's hard to think about that.
We got here so fast because we used to do it weekly, but now we're old and do it bi-weekly. But I think it's perfect. But anyways, I'm Bearded Luke. This is my co-host Maddox.
What's up?
We're pumped because tonight's gonna be a fun episode. We got some really good guests, but before we pop them in here, I just want to catch up with my boy. What you been up to this week, bro?
Dude, I have been great. Been absolutely great. I feel like Destiny's kind of a little bit just, bland right now, which is like not like talking shit or anything like that, but like as we all know, the end of the season starts to kind of dull down a little bit. You get what you want. You kind of fall off to some other games. Like people are loving Spider-Man right now.
Bro, I
I'm
can't wait
pissed
to
because I don't
play
have
it.
a PS5, so I want to
This
just like take my credit card and go swipe for a
No, don't
PS5
do
real
it.
quick.
Dude, I want to play it so bad. I have a PS5, but like, bro, I'm playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Mirage,
Jeez,
Harry Potter. I have like 5 single player games in my backlog that I'm like in, but I'm not like playing all at once because I don't have enough time. So I'm like, I can't buy it because I won't play it for like 6 months. So I might just
that's
wait for
how.
Chris. I might
Yeah.
just wait till Christmas and ask someone like for it for Christmas and actually not buy it a game for the first time in a while. But
Well,
it looks sick.
I got that EA Play thing that where you
Oh yeah,
can
yeah.
you can go and play games, whatever game you want for $15 a month, whatever. So that's what got me into like Madden.
You've been
I'm
playing it like
deep into
crazy.
Madden right now because it's just like
How
it's
many
such an
seasons
easy
have you
game to
played?
get lost into, huh?
How many like is it like a career
I've won
mode?
the
Like
Super Bowl twice already.
with what team? The Falcons?
Yeah. I did a franchise and then I did like a player, and I'm on my second player right now.
That's
Doing a
awesome.
like a wide receiver. Yeah, I get so lost in the sports games sometimes, especially like whenever it's the season. So like when the NBA rolls around, like I'll get stuck into 2K. I'll spend thousands of money on, not really, of course, but like hundreds of dollars on VC just to get my character up and stuff. That's how it is every single year, bro. I get looped into it every single year because I'm just a sports fan. So like
I'm the same way.
when those
But
get popular, even like MLB, I don't even watch MLB, but I'll
bro,
get
you were playing that when I first came to
yeah,
visit
I
you.
was. I'll get sucked into that stuff, bro. It's awful. And it's only
That's
like
how
2 weeks where you just
it's
it's like people's Minecraft addiction is
yeah.
my sports game addiction.
I'm the same way, except mine's not sports games, it's FIFA. AK now it's EAFC. But I will literally get on these like binges where like because I watch one of my primary YouTube things I do and watch is career like FIFA career modes. Like I watch people do like
God.
realistic career modes where they have like storylines and they like make cut scenes and they like it's insane. Like you'd probably laugh your head off if you saw the stuff I watch. They're like 20-minute episodes every
No,
day.
I've seen people do that with like the NCAA because NCAA is not a like real game right now, but they've modded it. The people like create scenarios and stuff on. I've watched those. That's
Yeah.
how sucked in I get into
I
sports
do.
games, where it's
I
awful.
watch those and then I go in and do my own career modes. And then, dude, one year I'm not in it too much now just because I don't have a lot of time. But one year I started my own team, and you can start in like I think it's the League Two and EFL, and you make your way up to the goal is to make it to the Premier League and win it. I played like 7 full career mode seasons, which are
Oh
like
my god.
56 games or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it's like years and years and years of playing it. And like I had full teams develop and like players retire. Like all the team was dude. I freaking I'm the same with you. Like if
That's
I'm
hilarious.
not playing Destiny, I'm playing FIFA or like some random single player game. But FIFA is like the game that if I like whenever we first had crew, Allie'd be in there like feeding him. I'd just run in here real quick, turn my Xbox on, and quick resume FIFA. Just play like 2 matches and then go back and watch him because
That's perfect.
it's easy. But anyways, yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the same boat. It's that weird part of the season where we obviously don't hate Destiny, but I don't like we've talked about for weeks and weeks with Destiny. There's probably not any game that's like ever going to be built that's going to keep our attention every single day of the week, 365 days a year. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
we had tons of great content at the beginning of this season, and there's been a lot of stuff to play. But like if you've played all of it, you've played all of it. It's like actually
Yeah.
kind of nice.
And burnout's a normal thing.
This back end is a good time to like not play it, take a little break, play the other games in your backlog, and then just get revamped for the next season, and then you can play again.
Right.
That's how I think you can be healthy with Destiny, where you're not on Twitter like
Oh, with
yelling
any
and crying.
game. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I'm glad you're having it. You did some fun stuff this
Yeah,
weekend though,
yeah. So
right?
this past weekend, I went to the Florida State game. I'm a big Florida State fan, so I get to watch them and go. They won, thank goodness. It would have been
Nice.
really sad if they lost
Yeah, that was
the first game of the season. That would have been awful. But yeah, no, I wouldn't. I went and took a little weekend to ourselves, me and my wife, and we went and hung out at the stadium with some friends and ate some ballpark dogs, you know what I'm saying? Some nachos and
yeah,
just enjoyed the game. It was a lot of fun. And then today just relaxed and stuff. I did play trials over the weekend as well too, which was a lot of fun. Got to play with some of the friends in the clan and we did go flawless and stuff. Got to we played against like the same team every single game because everybody was at TwitchCon. So
that's
at least
awesome.
that's what their excuse was. I don't know. I've like
That dude, not everyone was at TwitchCon. Like
I
everybody
know,
says
I
that.
know, I
Like
know.
people were just you just got unlucky and there's no one playing Destiny right now.
Yeah,
So
no, I mean, it's awful.
well, I'm
But
glad you had a good weekend. I filmed 2 weddings in a row, Friday and Saturday, so I feel like a zombie right now. I worked for like 22 hours straight basically, and it was good weddings, but like, dude, it's exhausting. And then also I put out my GCX video this week finally. Like
yeah, that was awesome. That was a great
forever,
video.
forever. Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun edit. I felt very awkward while I was there, but because you know what I mean? It's like I'm filming myself, but I'm also meeting all these people for the first time. So
Yeah.
like, am I allowed to film them
Yeah,
because
it's a
they're
thin line
content?
you have to
Because
cross
it's
of
like content creators, so you don't want to seem like you're using them, and there's this and that. So like, it was kind of awkward being there. But I think if I filmed it again next year, if I go, which they announced the dates I'm free for, but we'll
Mhm.
have another kid, so I don't really know how that works. Maybe I should just bring my kids. I'm
You
just kidding.
should.
Nah, they wouldn't have any fun. They'd just probably sit at the pool the whole time. But
Perfect.
yeah,
Sounds
all
like fun
right.
to me.
Anyways, enough about us. Let's get our first guest in here.
Let's do it. So we have two guests this week. We'll introduce them, of course, one by one. But if you don't know who these guys are, then you probably don't watch any YouTube content on
Yeah.
Destiny. Let's be honest, because like these guys are the forefront of like YouTube creators in the Destiny world. And we actually had the pleasure of meeting them at GCX. We got a pleasure of talking to them and just kind of picking their brain. And that's kind of where this whole episode started, I would say, because we talked about them being on the podcast and it's been a long time coming because we wanted one of this first guys on here for a while now, but he is a busy man. So we have the pleasure of having the one and only Mr. Castle on the podcast. Welcome in, brother.
Yes.
Hello, how you guys doing?
We're good, man.
Good.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. We are so pumped that you're here. You're also very handsome, just to be
Indeed.
honest. Your
Thank
hair is
you,
looking
kind.
good. Your hair's looking good.
I
Dude, I'm
was like,
finally getting bro, fun fact, last
I was
time I got
gonna
a hair
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was gonna mention it. I was
I
gonna
look
mention
I look disgusting right now. Like I look like a homeless man. Look at this crap. Like
oh
look at me.
dude.
so okay,
Ah
I wear a
dang.
hat 99% of the time, and then I was talking with my wife. I'm like, Can I wear a hat on this? Should I do my hair?" And she's
Absolutely you
like,
can.
"You do
Do
your
your
hair
hair.
once a month." Like, I don't know. I'm like,
You
"All
look
right,
good, dude.
we'll
You
do
look
it. We'll
good.
do our hair today then."
I
Yeah.
got my haircut the day before GCX, and then unfortunately, my barber, his brother passed away, so he hasn't
Oh
been
my
doing
god.
hair. I know it sucks, and so he hasn't been doing any haircuts, and I couldn't get in with anyone else. And then once he was finally back, well, no, it started with I got my haircut, and then this is nobody's gonna care about this story, but I got my haircut, and then he got married, and then his brother died, and then he didn't do haircuts, and now he's back. So it's
That's a
been
pretty big sequence of events there.
So
two
hold on.
months
Are
since I
you
got my haircut.
guys? You seem like you're the type of guy to like find a hairdresser or barber and stick with them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have
You
a
have to.
barber, he's my dude, he knows how to do my cut, so I just go to him.
Okay, so I'm like, I want a haircut today. I start googling like, hey,
Oh
I thought you
no.
were gonna
what's the
say
most?
sports clips, great clips,
No,
I'm
no,
in.
dude.
Oh
I'll
no.
walk into like, oh, $8. I'm in. Like, I'm your customer.
You're smarter than
Yeah.
us, that's why you have a nice haircut right now, and I look like a
For
homeless man.
Yeah,
for a while.
I didn't get my fade because I didn't get my fade recently because I missed my appointment.
You just missed it? Did you have to pay him?
No, I have a good reason. So the past couple weeks, my dog has been pretty sick. She ended up having like a really bad bladder stone that's been messing with her. Anyways, the day I was supposed to go get my haircut, we were at the freaking vet, so they understood. But it's
Was
my
it little
wife's
pug or
place that
big
she
pug?
works. Yeah, it's
Little pug or big
it's the
pug?
older one.
Okay. I don't know what that means. Is the big giant
Well,
one the
the
old
bigger
one?
one is the younger one.
Oh, okay,
So when
so
you
it's the
say
little one.
bigger, like physically she's bigger, but she's the younger one. It's awful, bro.
I
She's
get that.
huge.
I get that.
Yeah.
But no, Castle, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, where you do it, all that good stuff, brother. And just introduce yourself for those that may not know who you are.
Yeah, no problem. I am, I've never actually told people this, but I'm a former engineer. So I did that
Okay.
for like a long time. And then Destiny is a bit of an addiction, like that game pulls you in, it hooks you in.
Mhm.
And at some point I could probably go more in depth, but the high level is like eventually I kind of took the plunge into content creation. And then this year I started doing it full time to see how that would go. So I kind of gave myself a window of time, like, all right, let's see what we can do if we try this full time, and then we'll reevaluate after that, that window of time per se. But yeah, just typical Canadian who plays a lot of hockey,
You're
plays video
Canadian?
games.
Like, are
Yeah,
you in
I am.
Canada right now?
I'm in Canada.
I
It
didn't
is
know that.
snowing right now outside my window.
What the heck?
Snowing?
No, I
Yeah.
did not know
First
that.
first day. Yeah, yeah, that's right. It's been getting
Oh, that's
colder every day,
awesome.
obviously. But yeah, today it officially started snowing and it still hasn't stopped. So it's very sad.
Why do I feel like there's so many Canadians in the Destiny community? Is that me or is like
I don't
I
know.
feel like we always randomly meet a Canadian.
I don't know. That
Or
makes
like
sense why you're
they're
so
either
nice.
Canadian or they're in Ohio. Like there's only two
That's
places
Yeah,
true.
Destiny
yeah.
There's a
players
lot
live,
of
bro.
us in Ohio, bro. There's a lot of us chilling here in
Bro,
Ohio.
how many people did we meet at GCX? They're like, yeah, I live in Ohio. You're like, wait, what the?
What?
Yeah,
They, like,
I
live
don't
20
know.
minutes from
Swear.
me?
Yeah, God.
Yes. That's hilarious. Gosh. Well,
Oh, man.
so
Well, dude, I've been to
but
Canada once. I went to Banff. Well, I went to Calgary, and then we drove to Banff. It
Gorgeous.
was freaking beautiful. It was, like, one of the Calgary was the coolest city I think I've been to in, like it was just, like, really comfy, and it was, like felt like fall, and I was, like, walking around. I loved it. And
Yeah,
then
fall's
Banff.
pretty gorgeous. I mean, fall can be gorgeous like anywhere around the world, I
Yeah.
find. It's such a nice season for like aesthetics, but especially, yeah, Banff. We're not too far from there. So it's a
Ooh,
gorgeous place. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Maddox?
oh, I was gonna say just kind of what got you into playing Destiny as a content creator as well too. There's
Yeah, like,
curious.
how long you been playing? Like, when
Yeah,
was the start of your
yeah,
journey?
long time. On and off for like a lot of it, but it's funny. The only reason I got into it was because I my roommate bought it. So yeah, a buddy of mine just kind of randomly bought this game. I didn't even know it, like what it was. Like there's a lot of people who are like, oh, there's this game Destiny coming out. I'm apparently like 2013, 14. And yeah, one day my roommate just brought this game called Destiny over, and I'm like, oh, cool. I was on like a hiatus from gaming. I was kind of like not that I had like an intervention, but I gamed so much growing up that there was a point in my life where I was like, okay, I'm gonna like try and see what not gaming does in
Yeah,
my life. And then he brings this
a
game
lot.
called Destiny over, and it was just game over. So
It was
I
your
used to
destiny.
watch him play Volta Glass. Yeah, I was like, holy shit. Oh, sorry, I don't know if I can swear on
You
this.
can cuss.
Absolutely, absolutely, you
Yeah,
fucking can.
yeah, I was like, holy shit, like this is bringing me back to my Halo days. And like watching the raid and then watching PvP, and also I was pretty good at Halo. So watching my roommate not do good in PvP was like painful, right? I just kind of eventually I was like,
Bro, what are you doing? Let me
step
get the controller.
aside, dude. Let me play the Crucible. You do the PvE. So then we actually like played on the same account for a while, but his time dwindled and my time kept gaining on the game. And eventually I was like, well, it's my account now, dude. I can't restart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he
So
give it to you? Like, you just took it?
oh yeah, at that point he's like, well, I don't effing play anymore anyways.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's just you. So go ahead, have it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I played on that for quite a while. And yeah, like I said, later we can get in, like more in depth if you guys want. But eventually, I started streaming. I streamed on Twitch for quite a while, and I got
Oh,
to like
really? Okay.
a decent size on Twitch, and then took a break for a long time, and then D2, yeah, I don't know, D2 got fun again, so that then I came back, and then that's sort of when YouTube started. Like, yeah, I don't know.
That's
Near the end
sick.
of Shadowkeep, sometime in Shadowkeep is when I started kind of getting back into Destiny.
That's
Oh
well,
yeah.
so how has this first year of full-time been? Like, is it working? Like, are you gonna keep doing it, or is it, I mean,
Yeah,
I watch your stuff. Your stuff's great. I mean, we've talked because that's how I met you through Patty. Like, that's how I know both you
yeah,
and Shadow, because we all had that, like, think tank or master of course, or whatever you wanna call that
yeah,
Discord we had where we just
yeah.
talked about stuff and played PvP together. Um, but I'd love to know. Like, how's the year been? Like, what have you learned anything? Like,
It's
has it been
been
hard?
so
Has
it's
it been fun?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I think what I like, there's pros and cons to everything for sure.
Mhm.
And it was more eye opening, I'd say. Like going into it, I was like, no, I know what it's going to be like. I know the cons to be aware of, and I know the pros, how awesome the pros are going to be. But until you actually do it, you don't realize like everything's just amplified. So like doing it part time, having a salary was always like, yeah, this is fine. If a video flops, it's all good.
Mhm.
But post, doing this full time when a video flops, it's just a different emotional toll because A, it's like, oh, that's my income. And B, you have nothing else you're thinking of. Like, yes, you have life, but like when you go to work, when I'd go to work, I found last year, that would almost take my mind. If a video did bad, I didn't have time to worry about it because I was like doing my job,
Yeah.
reviewing engineering drawings. I had more like quote unquote more important stuff that I needed to do. Whereas doing it full time, you don't have that distraction to kind of like, so now you kind of dwell on things. But then it works in the opposite way where like when a video pops off, oh my God, it's like you're on cloud nine. There's no other like there's no better feeling. So yeah, it's been a pretty like awesome year and I've learned a lot for sure. So I'm excited to, you know, start it right in January next year for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah, dude. Well,
This is the first time I think we've had 2 full-time content creators on here, I think.
yeah,
So
seriously.
this is gonna be very, like, kind of more of an intellectual episode, I think, where we kinda talk more about just, like we were talking about before, we were just talking about, like, your content loop as well too, which we'll get into. But
Yeah.
let's get our second guest in here real quick. As you, have kinda hinted at, Mr. Luke, we have the one and only Shadow. Let me get
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I literally
The
said
YouTube king.
I
You
literally
did,
said
you did. It's
Shadow.
okay, it's okay.
I'm sorry. I
Shadow,
just
welcome in, brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you guys for having me on the show.
dude, of
We
course.
appreciate you being here, my
You're a
friend.
legend. We have two legends here. So
We also have a lot
we're
of
honored.
we have a lot of faceless gamers come on here as well too. We have some people that just don't have, don't stream with a webcam or don't have like their face out in the community. Shadow being one of those. We know what he looks like, but we won't tell you how handsome he is. So.
Yeah, it's taken everything in me to not just scream about how awesome Shadow is.
Oh goodness, Shadow, let us know who you are, what you do, all that good stuff. Let everybody know, that may not know who you are.
Hi, so I'm Shadow. I make videos on YouTube mostly about Destiny things. And the way I like to describe the content I make is it's rather different from the normal like news-based Destiny content. I don't make any videos about news. I don't make any videos about builds. I don't make any weapon reviews or anything like that. It's more like high-level like compilation stuff and like stories about the game.
Awesome.
Dude, your stuff is that's why like I was talking to Maddox before you guys got in here about your stuff, Shadow, because it's not we're just talking about like content and like how you can be successful in it. And you're successful at it because your stuff is so unique. You know what I mean? Like I can tell you put a lot of effort into it, and it's like videos like random people could watch that don't play Destiny and be like, oh,
Absolutely.
I want to play Destiny now because I'm especially thinking of the most recent one. I'm pulling up because I can't remember. It
But
was
what
the
you're
one.
saying though is what I always tell people. It's like you can't break into a space by doing like exactly what is already there because it's like why would anyone watch you if you're just doing the same thing that everyone else is doing except worse because you're new at it, you know? So in my opinion, you really
Hey,
have to
yo,
build something else.
careful with the truth there, Mr. Shadow. Okay,
I
watch
know,
out
right?
now.
Yeah.
Holy.
I love it. It was, dude. It was
Like
the 80
people
Destiny
do,
things
right?
you might do wrong every day. I watched that and I was like, this is so freaking smart. And I see you on Twitter like asking questions and stuff too. So I see like you're doing research and doing your thing, and then
Mhm.
all of a sudden you like throw out this banger video. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. He was like he was like out there scheming, trying to get ideas, all this good stuff. I love it. I love it. So tell us your story about because I've known you for a while in like kind of a different way. Like, I feel like I remember your name not being Shadow Destiny originally, like you're a part of some team or something. I can't remember what it was called originally, but tell us your like contents.
Synergy. It was
Right.
Synergy.
You
synergy.
were
That's
on
what
a
it was.
team. Yeah. I
Yes,
forgot
I
about
forget
that.
about that.
It's kind of weird. So
Montage editor.
before it was like a full-time creator, I was more of a clip hitter is what they're called. So it's kind of like someone who like plays the game exclusively to record PvP highlights and then makes them into montages. So that's really what I was into back in the day. And I was a part of like various teams where the whole purpose of the team was to create montages together. So it's kind of like a gathering of people who were editors and designers and players who were really good at hitting clips, and then we just like create these crazy montages. So that's what I was really into, you know, like I don't know, 5 years ago or something. And then as time went on, I think montages kind of fell out of the common trends of YouTube and social media in general. It's like, you know, after you've seen 500 montages, it's like you really don't want to see any more of them. So
Mhm.
yeah, those they kind of became a little bit stale, and interest in them kind of dwindled. And I think also my personal interest in them dwindled a bit. And I kind of shifted things over to making the type of content I create today.
I love
Oh
that. I
yeah.
remember specifically seeing it. It was your I think it was like your how to snipe video was like the first one I saw that was like I don't know if that one popped off or not, but I saw that and I was like, "Oh, I think he's going to start going in this direction." And it's
Yeah,
really good. So
that was
keep
like the
doing that.
first one, and yeah, it did pretty decent considering you know my channel had like 1,000 subs at the time. So um, yeah, that was the first one of kind of fully switching into the new type of content.
That's awesome. And
I
that
would
was 2 years ago. Listen, if you're listening to this, 2 years ago he had 1,000 subs. Now he has 220,000 subs. So like something
That's
worked.
wild. And strictly with Destiny too, right? So like that's I mean, how often do you see someone as just starting out? I mean, I think I literally remember like that 1,000, you know, like, oh, thank you so much for 1,000 subs on YouTube. And then like literally like the week after that, like, yo, thanks for 10,000 or something like that. So I
Yeah.
mean, like you grew really quickly. So how is something like that motivating? And Castle, you as well, you're a very successful YouTuber and you came up pretty quickly as well too. How does something like that, the success so quickly and kind of finding your niche, you know, kind of motivate you to continue?
I mean, I think you know creators are nothing without their communities, so it's really great to have people supporting you along your journey. And ultimately, I feel like as long as you share value with the audience and create content that people enjoy watching and learn from, or either or, it doesn't have to be both. But the type of content I tend to create is tends to be like with the goal of teaching people things and having them be entertained. So as long as you're doing that, and people enjoy watching your stuff, I think you're pretty good in that regard.
Awesome. Yeah, your stuff definitely tends to lean more towards the casual audience where, you know, someone that like maybe hasn't played Destiny in a year or something like that, and they're like, "Oh my god, 100 myths about Destiny? What the heck? I want to know." You know, different stuff like that. I know I was intrigued whenever I saw that pop up on my, you know, feed as well too. And I know Castle's done some pretty recent videos about different stuff like that as well too.
Yeah,
I
his
didn't
most
know.
recent one, his every Titan exotic explained in 10 seconds, like, that's
Okay, I
just
need to
like
go watch that because I don't know what half of them do.
exactly, those
There's
are
a
that's why
challenge.
those videos are good because I freaking have no clue.
And they're quick too. Like, so you grab their attention for like 10 seconds and then you hit them with that bang and then you move on to the next thing. Grab their attention again. Can sleeper simulate headshot 6 people in a row? I'm curious. Okay, what's the next one? All right, and then you continue on or something like that. I don't know. I
Yeah.
just think I feel like you guys have the formula down and y'all are just riding that shit and I love it. And I can't wish the success on two other people that deserve it more than you two. So keep doing what
Shadow
you're doing
has
because we love it.
Shadow has become the king of like, because you said something there about like, yeah, of course I'm curious how that happens. Look like the sleeper simulant thing.
Mhm.
So I often compliment Shadow on like he's become the king of I don't want to say discovering, but just knowing what people will be curious about. I think
Yeah.
that's like the probably the most underrated thing on like what it takes to grow on YouTube. Because for example, like when I first started, I remember I had a similar thought. I was like, okay, I don't want to make a video that other people are making because why would they watch that?
Right.
Um, so I think my first one was like, our targeting mods a waste of your time. Like something was like no one's talking, no one's covered this, and I tried using like my an engineering thought process on like how could I prove that these are like totally not worth it. turns out I was dead wrong, and they're absolutely worth it. But um, but like
Oh my goodness, that
I
was
went
good.
down the like ultra hardcore nerdy route where I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick these incredibly niche topics that absolutely no one else is covering, but like I'm curious about them, so maybe other people will be. And then I'm gonna test them and explain them like to death, to the point where like no one can watch this and think and walk away being like, oh, that was lazy. Like I was like, so my goal was like I want every viewer to walk away being like, I can't believe he went through all that just for that one thing. And so I was trying to get people to walk away thinking like, damn, I want to watch his next video. That was always my goal. Eventually, the more I kind of like learned about YouTube, I slowly have been trying to learn kind of what Shadow does. Is like, okay, maybe there's topics that are more broadly curious, you know, like not
Yeah.
everyone cares about targeting mods specifically for one video, but yeah.
I do like
love it.
the little game show thing that you've done, Castle. That was pretty cool. Like tally up your score by the end and see if you're an idiot or not.
Yeah,
Because I
that
was an idiot. Those are like, you know, it's like it's so interactive, and like I said, you guys just we wanted you on here because we're just very like we are consumers of your content in a way as well too, along with a lot of people in this community, as you know. So I'm glad we get to
Yeah.
talk to you guys about it. So
Yeah. Before we get into the next thing, I want to ask Shadow because I didn't get to ask him yet. I want to know his Destiny journey. Like,
yes, absolutely.
like when did you start playing Destiny? Why? And how did you get here?
Yeah, 100%. So I was actually gifted Destiny by a couple of my friends for my birthday, like right after it came out. And I played it like a few times, and then I kind of just set it down for a while, about a year. So right after Taken King came out is when I like actually started getting into the game more. And this was like my first time actually like getting serious about a first person shooter. So like I had like very occasionally played them in the past, but this is the first time I was like actually playing one consistently. So I was extremely bad when I first started playing. Like I would get like one kill in a PvP game and I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is the best game I've ever had. My first one kill, my first one kill game. I was getting assists and be like happy about that. So
I
yeah,
was the
I
same
was
as you, bro. We're on the same
extremely
level.
trash when I first started Destiny. But anyway, um, over the years, you know, I just continued playing. I always liked Crucible, always from the very beginning. Even though I was extremely bad, I loved improving in Crucible. So that's kind of what my focus was. And even though I did play, you know, all aspects of the game, I did occasionally do raids and all the other PvE stuff. But PvP has always kind of been my focus as a player, and I just that continued on into Destiny, and like I mentioned earlier, I got into montages and stuff for a while, and then eventually when I started making my content shift away from montages, it was more focused on like sharing my knowledge that I built up over 7-8 years of playing PvP. So for a while my content was really PvP focused, like teaching tips and like you mentioned the sniping video, right?
Mhm.
When I first started, I was like, okay, like what can I actually share that I feel like I actually can provide the most value? And it's like I've sniped like tens of thousands of people in the history of my Destiny time, so it's like I think I have a pretty good knowledge of how to snipe. So here we go. I'm gonna just share all my best sniping tips for free on the internet and see if anyone is interested in that.
On
Turns out
controller, by the way.
there's some interest.
Careful.
I'm joking.
I actually made a controller like guide specifically for that as well. So
Yeah,
and I
true.
mean just because the majority of people play on controller, I feel like it's actually more helpful to
There it
have that
goes.
perspective.
With his mind.
Hmm.
That's more views because more people play controller.
It's like making a video about hunters instead of warlocks. It's like more people just play
All
hunters.
right, relax there, bud. All right.
You know what's funny? I used to complain. I was like, God, I make Titan content. And like early on, I remember doing a poll and it was like 15% of people play Titan because 50% were on Hunter and like whatever, right? 35 were on Warlock. But now, God, look where we are now. Hey, Titans have just like
Mhm.
slowly risen over the last like 3 years. It's kind of crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Um I do. I think we're Luke. Any other
Yeah,
questions,
yeah,
my
no,
friend?
I'm
All right.
good. We can
Um,
transition. We can
one of the
transition.
yeah, one of the best things that you guys do, I feel, is you guys have a good content loop, is what we like to say. So we talked to as we know, there's a gameplay loop with Destiny where there's certain things that come out every season, different stuff like that. How does a how does Destiny and your schedules and stuff create a content loop for you? Is there something, hey, we have reset on Tuesday. Do you guys look for reset and like, okay, what's new this week? Or you like Shadow, you just come up with something out of your damn, rocket science mind over here and
He
try to like
engineers it.
and then you go and get the gameplay, then you edit, and then you do this. And I just want to know, like, from a YouTube standpoint, like we all know as streamers, you click the button, you go live. You may have a plan for that stream. You may have a charity stream, or you're doing trials helps or something in that regard. But everybody sees that live, right? But nobody sees what you do for a YouTube video. So I'm just curious. We'll start with you, Castle. Just kind of take me through like what your workflow is when it comes to your content, and just kind of give us a little bit of behind the scenes if you don't mind.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I think it's important to say that like it changes all the time
Oh,
as
sure.
you
I can only
learn, right?
yeah.
So like the way I go about doing things now is like so different from what it was a year ago, and I'm sure it'll be very different again in a year.
Right.
I'd say right now, like what what I strive for in a loop per se would be, I guess to answer the question immediately, things like reset, things like Destiny, I don't really pay attention. Like I pay attention to what's going on in the game, but I don't pay attention from like a content perspective. I'm not
Gotcha.
like,
Okay.
okay, it's reset. Need to go get this new weapon so that I can make a review. I don't really make weapon reviews anymore. I've kind
Right.
of like
Right.
drifted away from that stuff. Mainly because like I'm just learning more and more about like trying to make timeless content, and it's somewhat hard. Like some Destiny stuff
So important.
isn't timeless. Like no matter how evergreen you make something, it might not be relevant in 5 years from now. The way like a non-video gaming video, like a Mr. Beast video, is can be that can be watched in 10 years from now, and still you can still get the same entertainment value. Whereas with a video game like Destiny, little harder to do that. Can still be done somewhat, like Bife's 10 million view video on like the lore of Destiny. But even that kind of ends at some point. So because of that, I try to avoid like the cycle of Destiny and just try to find ideas or think of ideas that are like what cannot be impacted by the cycle, right? Like what, if I
Yeah.
was to release this video now versus a different day, ideally the answer would be it will not be affected. It ultimately is based on like player population, like the interest in the game. As YouTubers, you can really tell. Well, probably on Twitch too with viewership. You can feel the player population going up and down just based on like, whoa, my videos are doing better than normal, or like, whoa, they're not doing. I thought this video would do better, but it's really not performing. And sometimes it's not entirely in your control. It's just like the player population. But
Right.
um, yeah, so I try and think of ideas that way. And then it's pretty well like script writing. Early on, I used to just kind of wing it, but now I don't. Now I try and like outline exactly how I think the video should be laid out. Whether it's like a guide, on like, okay, what's the best way I could explain this to people so they understand? Or if it's an entertainment thing, then it's like, okay, how could I write this in an entertaining way? So that people don't get bored. So I spent a lot of time on that. And then countless hours recording footage. Probably that's where that's probably like my least efficient piece is like uh sometimes I will record it, sometimes it'll take me an hour just to get like a 6 second visual in game. Like if I want to record this specific thing that I want it to be abundantly clear to the viewer, I kind of have OCD. I'm like, no, I will not quit until I get the right visual. And then next thing I know, I'm like, oh, I just burned half my morning on this one 6 second piece. It's like, was that really worth it? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, so most of my time goes into that, and then it's putting it together, editing it. So Yeah, yeah. Apathetic can vouch for my OCD. That's right. Yeah, he sure
Funny.
can. But yeah, it's kind of that like over and over.
There you go. It's like you were saying, timeless pieces of content. That's so huge for this community. I feel like because there are times where the the player population is lower, which I would assume is kind of where we're at right now.
Oh yeah, she's rough
As we
right now.
stated, yeah. So, but I mean, I'm sure if you say like if someone like picks it back up or whatever before the new season comes out, or someone's like, oh, the new DLC comes out in February, let me pick this game back up. Oh, I need to start a Warlock. Oh my god, I need to look up Warlock builds for season blah 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 blah.
Right.
Castle, 7 builds for Warlock. I can. I wanted just one. Now I have 7.
Right.
Holy crap! And now I need to go do. So it's like, and you were talking about the Byth video. I believe Shadow, you've done something in similar in that regard, where you've
He
kind of
did. It has
done.
like 2 million views and it's
Yeah.
two and
So
a half
like,
hours long.
and I
can't
can't
imagine.
imagine how that just. I'm sure if you check your YouTube analytics, it's just constantly like maybe 100 couple views every day or so. I would assume. Maybe not now. I don't know, of course, but I mean, as time goes on, I'm sure that just
Bro, I'd be
slowly
so
creeps up.
interested on how much watch time you got, like, from that one video because of how long it was and how many views it got. That's amazing.
Especially because long videos like that, that's where you break into the point where people are probably watching it more on TV.
Yeah.
Oh
And it's
yeah,
like
as like a little
once you
movie
throw a
type
video
thing.
up on TV, like they'll just
It's a
leave it
wrap.
there.
It's
You know?
staying.
Yeah, yeah, right.
I
So
do it, bro.
yeah,
I watch those gameplay videos still, like Hollow puts out. I'll sit there and watch like 3-hour videos while I'm editing. Like it's just on. Like it's like it's basically like I'm watching TV on the side. So
yeah. I do that too. I cast to the TV and then do my stuff.
What about you, Mr. Shadow? How is kind of your content loop structured? If there is any structure, of course.
Yeah, so I think the first thing that's important to mention is like with regards to the game news and stuff. I'm very aware of the game news. I make sure to follow everything, read everything, because I think it's really important to keep track of what the community cares about, and also I care about it myself as a player. But I don't necessarily like make any content immediately reacting to that. So it's not like oh, the TWAB's out, I need to make a TWAB reaction. I don't do that kind of stuff, but I still read all the TWABs because I want to know, what's changing for the game and how that might impact my content in the future. So, like if we learn of some change that's coming in Final Shape, maybe that is potentially a video topic down the line, and it's good to know about it in advance so that I can plan stuff. So it's not necessarily like, oh, I learn about something and then I immediately do something. It's more for the purpose of like long-term planning, and then also just being aware of things in general with regards to the game, because that's what we cover and it's important to understand what's going on at all times. But then after that, I mean, it's probably about as you'd imagine. We come up with ideas for videos. That's a very arduous process, but then we either write them or go and record them if it's an unscripted video. Most of my videos are scripted, but sometimes we do like unscripted, like entertainment stuff. So in that case, there's no scripts. We just have maybe an outline of things we're gonna do, and then we just go do it. And then after that, editing, throwing everything together, making a thumbnail. Sometimes we actually make the thumbnail beforehand, or we at least have a really good idea of what the thumbnail is. And then, yeah, I mean, that's basically the process. I now have a team member who helps me with a lot of this stuff. He's doing editing and then also some of the research and the beginning stages of the videos. So yeah, I still am involved in every part of the video, but he's kind of like helping me out with a bunch of that stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, it's kind of what I expected, but I can't imagine just like you guys come up with a video idea and then just like what culminates after that, and what's like your priorities. Of course, I'm sure you guys have, priorities when it comes to, certain things where you maybe you are you've done a video Shadow that the first thing that came to my mind was the one where you did like the $1,000 last Guardian standing or something like that, with like wins $1,000, and you did a bunch of these little game show type things. And I know Castle's even done something like that where you had like teams of 3 and like you involved a lot of content creators. How was something in that regard where you involved so many people into your video to kind of change your process as well too?
So for those, I think there's still a decent amount of planning, because you need to kind of make sure that everything you do is going to actually work. Because
Right.
it's easy to be like, oh, we're going to do X challenge. But then you have to
Yeah.
get into the logistics and the nitty gritty details and stuff. It's like, how do you load 12 people into the tower at the same time? It's like your
Oh
fire team can
gosh.
only have 6 people. So you have to like get people to like leave the fire team and then join on the people who left. And then you have like several different splintered fire teams. But just figuring out the little things like that is like, how do you actually do this is what goes in the planning process for those. And then ideally, you want to make the challenges fun and entertaining. So you want to pick ones that you think people would like watching. But then after that, I mean, it's just collecting everyone's perspective and editing it down. I know for that video you mentioned, the $1,000 challenge one, we had like hundreds of gigabytes of footage from every single person's
gosh.
perspective because everyone
Mhm.
recorded for like 3 hours and then sent it to me. So we had to collect all of that, and then find the most interesting parts and chop it together in a way that makes sense from a viewer perspective. And yeah, that's basically it.
Awesome. Well, next time you have that, please come to my DMs, all right? Because I would love to attend.
That's why you're on here. He wanted to
Yeah.
ask if he could be on your
Yeah,
thing.
that's right.
Just kidding.
Oh my gosh. Give me a chance,
I
bro.
love I love hearing workflows from because I come
absolutely.
from like a similar background. Well, like let's just say it's cool for me to hear like gaming content workflows compared to like I do YouTube stuff, but it's more like it's not gaming, it's like tech related stuff. And then my job is to like make videos. So like I have a specific workflow for going out and physically making a video for someone and then coming home and doing the whole process. So it's always cool to see like that solo process. It's cool, Shadow, that you have someone helping you now too. I know how helpful that is. I have someone who edits. He does like for when I do weddings, he does like the like easy, like the stuff that I could do, but it's just speeds the workflow up where he cuts all of like the important stuff into its bits, and then I come in and do the creative process. But it's awesome that you guys have those, and I agree with you, Castle. Your workflow will change probably over time based off of
Oh yeah, you find more efficient ways to do things.
Yeah, and you learn like what does and doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, God. I remember doing that stupid Guardian games for $1,000, the 3v3v3. Holy man. Like one of the challenges was sparrow racing. And I was like, yeah, that'll be no problem. Just 3, not we'll just have all 9 sparrows. And then I realized like, wait a sec. How am I gonna get 10 of us in one instance in one planet? Like, is that even turns out it's impossible. But then, even breaking them up into like getting 3, a warlock, a hunter, and a titan to race on a sparrow. I was like, okay, I can get the 3 of them on a planet, but how am I going to be there to like film the sparrows going around? Like, sure, they're like filming their own, but I wanted like a third person perspective of it. And it's like, how do you get 4 people in the same instance? You kind of just have to like walk. You have to have 2 people walking into an instance on a planet at the same time almost, and like just hope for the best. So then I remember pinging our Discord, like, okay, who are 2 people that live close to each other that we can, so things like
God,
that, like Shadow was
have to
saying,
utilize
like,
your community.
yeah, you do, right? And you learn things that like, okay, that took like 6 hours to get just a planet with 2 people in it. It's like, okay, maybe we shouldn't do that next time because that was awful. So
That's tough.
yeah, you learn like what's going to be a lot of planning and what requires less and stuff. But yeah.
Well, speaking of less, which this doesn't have anything to do with less, but I I just wanted to ask another question because we're talking about YouTube. Short form content. It's really big right now, right? It's everyone's attention spans are really tiny and it does well. I noticed, Castle, you don't have any shorts on your YouTube channel, and Shadow, I think you have one. I want it, and I'm not no shots. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I just want to know
What
what your
the
guys'
fuck are
opinion.
y'all doing? Okay.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah.
I want to know what y'all's opinion are on shorts. Like, do you have
Yeah,
a
I'd
reason
be
you
curious.
don't do them, or do you want to start doing them, or what do you even think of them? Like, what do they mean to you? Because I didn't want to do them for a long time because, bro, it's already enough work to freaking make a one video like that people are gonna watch it. Having to make one every day with like an interesting like fast thing in the first second that people are gonna watch, and then continue to like make those, which can end up taking sometimes as long as a regular video sometimes if you're like
Yeah.
really trying to go at it. What do you guys think about shorts?
I think, okay, I'm gonna let Shadow take this one, but I'll just, my quick 2 cents is like, I was struggling to find like the time investment, like you said. So I think the shorts are a good idea. Um, but I kept coming back to like, okay, I could spend probably 8 hours today making a 18-second short or whatever, maybe even like a 25-second short. And maybe I'd be super proud of it. Maybe it would pop off, maybe it would die. And then I'll probably make $0 off it, or 2 cents off of it. Not that like money is what drives everything, but then I'd be like, okay, but or I could spend that 8 hours on like finishing an entire script on a video that will on a long form video, sorry, that I know will help put food on the table. So I every time I go to do them, I'm faced with that. And I think long term, I'm like, I should be doing them. Just life, life gets in the
Yeah.
way. And the next thing you know, you're like, oh yeah, it's been 6 months. I haven't made one
I
yet.
probably should make one of those.
But Shadow, I think Shadow knows this stuff pretty darn well. I'm be really curious to hear what his thoughts are.
So I think they're fine. I mean, you kind of have to think of a way to incorporate them into your overall content strategy, because I really don't think right now, at least, I don't think right now there's a world where you can sustain yourself off just short form, because it really doesn't build community. Like, if you go watch some TikToks and then you're like, oh, I know this guy, but you probably don't even know his name. Like, maybe you've seen 10 of his
Don't
TikToks,
even
but you
him
could
probably.
not name him. It's like, it's you really don't build like any type of audience like who's actually loyal to your content based on purely short form. So I think the most optimal approach is probably to have a mixed type of content where you have long form and shorts. But the key is really making them so that they appeal to the same type of person. Because if you have long form viewers that like watching a long form, then you have short form viewers that like watching your short form, but they don't overlap, that's a really bad problem for your channel, and it sends all these bad signals to like the algorithm, because it's like, oh, you have like two separate audiences on the same channel and we can't overlap them. So if we ever recommend your long form to your short audience, they just never click it. So the key is really making sure that your long and the short appeal to the same audience. And if you can do that, then it can kind of work. But like you guys mentioned earlier, it's kind of, you have to ask yourself, like, how much time am I willing to take away from my long form in order to make shorts? And for me, the answer is basically none right now. And that might change. I might be willing to sacrifice 5% of my time to make more shorts in the future, or 10% at the most. But yeah, ultimately, it just comes down to like, how much time do you want to take away from your long form to make shorts? And yeah.
That makes sense. I figured that was the case for you guys. I was just asking because I think you guys would make baller short form content personally, just based off of what you do. And I guess playing devil's advocate here, since you already have a pretty good base audience of people that are going to watch you, wouldn't you think that if you were able to make, good, valuable shorts for your audience, that would just make them even happier, like make them watch you even more and maybe bring in a new version of an audience? I know the tough part for you, Shadow, like you said, it's so smart. Like it does trigger the algorithm incorrectly if like it's pushing long form stuff to your new audience and then they're not watching it. That
Mhm.
obviously makes the whole point not be there. But if you have these audiences of hundreds of thousands of subscribers, wouldn't you think that maybe they'd want some other version of content from you too? I don't know if
Yeah,
that's like, I
I
guess it
mean,
just, like you said, it's based off of time. Like if you don't have time to do it, you don't have time to do it. But
yeah, I think that, in a perfect world, I do shorts just because I don't upload very frequently. So I feel like that's kind of a way to bridge the gap between the uploads, if you can have a short or two to watch in between. But yeah, I mean, like we mentioned, it really just comes down to the trade-off of time and value. So it's like, and also it's like from an audience perspective, like, do you really want that? Like, would you rather have an extra short a month in exchange for like having a few more days between each video? Like, as an audience member, is that actually something you want, or is the short valuable enough to delay every single long form from now on? It's kind of a question you have to ask. So
fair, that's fair.
It's
I'm
a
just
it's
wondering. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
it's a great question though, because like yeah, I'm with you on that too, Bearded. Like I do think in a perfect world you would be doing both. It's an interesting struggle to try and solve for
Oh,
sure.
you need
Like
help without a doubt. I mean,
it's a tough
like
one.
Shadow was talking about, he needs help just creating the one video, like what every week, 2 weeks or so. I mean, especially when to keep your quality as well too. Like you guys create high quality YouTube videos, so it's like, do you want to, diminish your quality for one or two extra shorts, maybe one short a week? Probably not. I mean, I think I'm talking for all of us when, we all, rely on our quality of the content that we create. And but I think my opinion on shorts is like, is it's great for like new people to get people's like eyes on new
Totally.
people. You know what I'm
It,
saying?
it
Like
is.
we're kind of as a podcast, me and Luke have decided that short form content is basically the only thing we have time for, because we have an editor, we have someone that can clip our stuff and that can put in subtitles. And for something that we just created a page for, we already grew that page to 1,000 followers, like
Yep.
within a span of a couple weeks, within like 2 or 3 episodes of content that we've created. So like, thinking about it in that way, like someone that's already established as you guys are with your hundreds of thousands of followers and subscribers, like I feel like they rely on you guys for year long form content, where that short form content would just be an addition. It's just like, oh, it's just another thing that you guys created. But
Yep.
as someone that's like, starting like, oh, I want to create content on this game, they're probably going to lean towards shorts, in my opinion,
I
because
also, yeah, it's funny you say that. So something that always burns in my mind too is like when I'm on YouTube, I'm usually not watching long form. Like the
mhm,
stuff that, so I do watch long form. I shouldn't say I don't, but um, that feeling where I'm like, oh God, where did the last 2 hours go? Is generally because I was, doom scrolling
Yeah,
oh
you get off the
yeah,
YouTube
shorts
shorts.
tab, going by us.
So I'm not oblivious to that, right? So when that happens, I'm usually like, that's what hooks me. That's what keeps me on the app are shorts. So like, why wouldn't I want to be a part of it? Like, why wouldn't I make shorts? So yeah, it's something we're always trying to think of doing too. Or like, I remember I made this video on like the 40 types of Destiny players. It was like stereotypes basically, and it
mhm,
popped off. It's one of my best videos of all time, like view wise. So I was like, okay, that's 40 shorts. Let's turn these into shorts. And then as we started to try, it was like, okay, the way this was edited in long form, I almost have to like re-edit, redo
yeah,
everything
it's
for each
different for
short. And I was
sure.
like, I can't just quote unquote clip this into shorts. Whereas
Yeah.
I think when it comes to podcasts, I love
It's
catching
a
those sound
huge
bites.
it's a huge thing. I mean, that's
It
that's all of
is.
our clips is just a talking point or something
Yeah.
that Luke said that like we think would get a lot of like rise or a lot of
Yeah,
comments. Like,
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like what
huge.
it's like what no one's gonna find this random little Destiny podcast, like, randomly, just, like because 'cause we're so small and just started. We figure the best way to do it, let's get a couple clips that pop off and have 800, say a clip gets 800,000 views, like a short form clip, that our long form video is not gonna randomly ever get, like, 800,000 views, right? That's
Right.
just not gonna
Right.
happen, and it's just gonna push eyes towards a podcast, which is how other podcasts do. I mean, we weren't
Oh,
coming up with that
100%.
idea. Other people do that too, so that's
For
why we
sure.
it's funny that you're saying that because there are like so many different reasons to do shorts, whether it's like an entertaining short that isn't have anything to do with your long form content, or if it's like just like a viral one, like on purpose.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking,
yeah.
dude, I'm thinking like the reason I do them is because I'm just my whole YouTube channel is just a big experiment to see like what on earth is valuable to people based
Mhm.
off of things that I like. And like I'm just seeing like you guys are both so talented, and I feel like I'm not saying you have to make shorts. I'm just saying I feel like you guys could crack the code to be having like millions of views on shorts every time you post a short. You know what I mean? You already did that on regular videos, but the good news for you two, which I see people talk about all the time, is most people that are content creators, they don't make enough long form content like that. Like YouTube is like the thing that they just like don't they don't spend time doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's the place that has the best long term value for an audience that you grow. Um, and
100%.
it's a
People want to
good place.
stream 5, 6 days a week.
Yeah, like you can go stream on Twitch all day long and then make TikToks, but if you're not making any long form content on YouTube that's entertaining, then how are people supposed to see you in 5 years? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that.
The tricky part is like you need to enjoy it, and that's something I've kind of recently, because like I streamed on Twitch for a couple of years, right? Like a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I
And then
didn't know
I,
that.
I feel like I got lucky that I took this long break, and then I started YouTube, and I freaking love making a YouTube video. But every time I recommend it to someone who only streams, because the barrier to entry for streaming is so, I shouldn't say it's low. It's not easy to press go live. But like once you're over that mental hill, if you will,
Mhm.
you at least just do have to go and press live. Now it's difficult. I've been there. I've streamed 9 hours a day. Like it is so taxing. But um every time I recommend to people who are streaming, like, man, I'm telling you, if you want to grow faster, you grow somewhere else like YouTube, and then that'll organically grow your stream. I've kind of come to realize later that like, wait, maybe they don't like making, not everyone's
Yeah,
like me. Maybe you don't like making YouTube videos, right? Some people just, that is not at all what they're into.
and they
So,
might just suck at making tunes. I
or,
hate to
or
say
they suck,
this,
but
but
yeah,
sometimes people just don't have what it takes to be
right,
good at content. So,
right,
like, they could be really good at entertaining on Twitch and then make a YouTube video that's just, like, not fun at all, and then
right.
maybe they aren't a YouTuber. But most
But
of the time,
you
if
have
they're
to like
good
it.
at most time if they're good at Twitch and they have a successful audience there and they're not making YouTube, there's probably a chance they're good at making YouTube videos, you know?
And they can
My
always learn too. Like
oh,
I think
absolutely.
shorts are a great way to learn, because you get in the reps and it's like instant feedback. Like, say you make 2 shorts a week, say you make 7 shorts a week, whatever. You're making a lot of shorts like in a given amount of time, and then you instantly get the feedback from what people think, and you can look at your retention curves and you can see like, oh, people didn't like this part of the video, or you see the comments that people really liked this particular part of this video. So it's like, okay, we can make more stuff like that, and this is what people generally enjoy watching. And then you can apply that to your other shorts. You can even apply it to your long form. So it's a really good way to like test stuff early on when you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
shorts. Yeah,
oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Oh, I was gonna say like my biggest hurdle for like when it comes to creating like long form content is I feel like I'm not very good at like opinionated content where like I can like give my opinion and like stay strong with my opinion. Like, oh, this shotgun is the best shotgun in the game, and because of this. And I feel like someone's just gonna like turn that opinion around and like just completely prove me wrong. And I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. Like that's kind of been my biggest barrier, like when it comes to creating stuff for myself, of course. And I feel like I'm probably not in the minority with that as well, too. Like people are just afraid to share their opinion because this community is fucking crazy when it comes to, sharing your opinion and stuff. So, but I will say my skin has gotten a lot thicker when it comes to sharing, my thoughts and stuff as time has gone on. But that was like my biggest barrier whenever I first started because I did dabble in YouTube for a little bit, and I even recently tried another crack at it, but it's to a point where I just like I don't have the time. And I know everybody says that, but like I'm trying to get my nursing degree instead. Like I'm trying to create a career, but and that's kind of where like I wanted to touch on Shadow as well too, is talking about how he has a lot of content where he shares his like masterclass of sniping on the controller. There's no way in hell I could create a video like that because I don't know enough, and two, I just feel like just play the game and you'll get better. Like that's kind of like where my not like my nonsense comes up when it comes to creating stuff like that. So props to you, Shadow, for making stuff like that because it's hard, and I can't imagine like. I'm sure you have a lot of people that are like, yo, Shadow taught me this, but I feel like there's probably a lot of people that are also like, no, you have no clue what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what
Yeah.
terrifies me. I don't take criticism very well, so I'm
So
just go ahead.
first of all, thank you. And second,
Of course.
what I would say to people like you and anyone else who is like concerned about people judging your opinion, I'd say step one, like make sure you base your opinion in some sort of fact. Make sure you do your research. If you're going to
Right.
talk about the best shotgun, do some research and back yourself up with some indisputable facts about the game and about the shotgun, and at least explain your position so that people can see where you're coming from. And then after that, at the end of the day, it's just an opinion, and people are welcome to disagree with you. That's what
Right.
I always say. Like, if someone ever disagrees with like a tier list, for example, where I'm ranking the exotics, it's like, okay, that's fine. This is just my opinion at the end of the day. I ranked the exotics because of reasons X, Y, and Z that I explained in the video. And if you don't agree with these reasons, that's fine. Everyone has their own playstyle. And, it's very possible that this isn't the best exotic for you because of the way you like to play. And that's totally fine. So it's totally okay if people disagree with your opinion, because everyone can have their own opinion, and based on playstyles, that might very well be the best shotgun for them, for example.
You know what
Right.
else too? Like, okay, I have such a good example for this. Two actually. So one of my very first videos, like within the first 5 or 10 videos that I ever made, I made some pretty bold claims, and I legitimately was like, I'm fairly confident in my testing and all this. Drewski at the time, so I'm like tiny, right? Nobody knows me on YouTube. I'm super super small. Drewski, total really respect that guy. Knows his stuff. Kind of comes in into the comments and like he writes in like why I'm just dead wrong. And then that comment gets a ton, all the upvotes or, the likes or whatever. So that
Mhm.
the YouTube rises that comment to the top, of course. And I remember I like, it's not like I couldn't sleep, but like I'd be talking with my wife and I'm like, no, I can't even, that's all my mind is on this fact that like, oh my God, the world's going to find out that I was possibly wrong, even though I think I might be right, but he's probably right and I'm probably wrong. And I like was freaking out. And then now, like fast forward 3 years, when you think back, it's like, oh my God, like no one, who gives a shit? Like no one cares.
He's
Right.
like,
And
"You
so,
don't know that about
uh,
pixels. I know this about pixels."
right. Yeah. Right. And it's like, that happens enough times. That wasn't the first, or sorry, that wasn't the last. Like it happens enough times that you kind of realize like none of this matters. Like at the end of the day, did you make a video that you're proud of, and did people like it? Period.
There you go.
And that's it. And like I remember recently I made a what was it? I think it was a shotgun tier list. And someone like fairly decently sized on Twitter kind of like ripped me a new one on I don't think they knew me well, but they like posted it and were like, this idiot doesn't know
Oh my
what. Yeah,
gosh.
yeah, like something like that. I'm paraphrasing, right? But like it was like this guy doesn't know anything.
This
Like
idiot
how
castle, you don't know
stupid
nothing.
are these rankings? And I remember like Patty or someone linked me the tweet. They're like, "Whoa, dude, this tweet's got like quite a few retweets and and likes on it." And I went through that whole same thing again. I was like, "Oh my God, like how big is this going to get on Twitter?" And then I had to remind myself like, "Oh wait, I don't care if you think I'm stupid. Like why would I care about that?" And then it was just like, yeah, the next day is like the next video.
Moving
There's
It's
on.
always
just
guys behind screens. They wouldn't say it to your face. So
no, right. But my point is like you eventually realize like none of that matters. It just
yeah.
doesn't. You make what you want to make and be proud of it, and
You're
then
not
just
going to please everybody with
keep trucking
what you
forward.
say and what
Got
you make. So.
109,000 other people that like it. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
rest of them can suck it.
But yeah, you remember that Shadow? I think I even told you. I was like, oh no. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
so bad.
not every
Yeah.
single person is going to rank things exactly the same. Like me and
Right.
Castle, if we both make a tier list for shotguns, we're not going to rank them exactly the same. There's going to
Mhm.
be some discrepancies, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Well,
I
this is
agree.
a perfect segue into our
Yeah,
game.
let's
Tonight.
yeah, also, I'm sorry. I'm over here like, I'm sorry this turned into this is like the most like, let's just talk about content creation for an
I mean, that's
hour
what I
on
mean.
the
We literally
Destiny
have
podcast.
two of the biggest Destiny
Yeah, fair.
YouTubers,
I'm just hoping that y'all
right
were cool
now.
with
So
that
like,
because we didn't even talk about Destiny at all.
it's fun. We talked about
I
Destiny
mean, Shadow
YouTube.
and I are fine with that. Yeah,
Alright,
we
good.
love
Right.
talking
I
about
figured
YouTube.
I
Yeah.
figured this is the best time of the year to do this because what
I
are we
think
gonna
it's
talk
great.
about? Well, the ritual activity of the season is so
Speaking
fun.
speaking on the topic of rankings, I have the perfect game for us tonight. So for those that are listening, last week we had or the last episode we had the pleasure of having Above on, and we did a new game show or a new game type feel where we usually do like a tier list. So we do something funny where we can have everybody's opinion, rank stuff out, because it's great short form content. So
Yeah.
this week we have a ranking. We're gonna guess the rankings in this case. So we have the best Destiny 2 characters based off Ranker. Ranker is basically a community ranking website where people can go on rank whatever the heck they want. In this case, we have the top 10. You guys are as a whole, Luke, Shadow, Castle. You guys are gonna go one by one and guess the top 10 best Destiny 2 characters
Oh
according
God.
to Ranker. Okay. So, Castle and Shadow will go first. Luke will get the third pick because he is not important. No, I'm kidding. So Castle,
man.
please give me your first, and we'll have a little ticker down here so you guys that are watching,
Oh
and
wow!
you guys
Look at
can
this.
see,
Yeah, so we
you know
keep up.
which ones you guys have gotten and which one you have not.
We
So
planned ahead.
I
like
will
it.
say there is maybe one on here that I truly don't think you guys will get, but I think this is a pretty cliche list. So, Castle, give me your first guess on what the Destiny 2 best character
This is
is.
gonna be easy. Number
1
one's
through
gonna be
10.
easy.
So sorry. So you just who do I think would be ranked number one? Based
Number
on the
1
votes?
through 10. You're just trying to fill out the top 10. You
Oh
know
my
what? Let's make
god.
this top 15 because these, I will say that
Oh
these
dude, I don't even think I could
are
name 10.
pretty simple. Yes, you can. I know you guys can.
And if you can't, we'll just say the character that does this. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna know
We're
the
gonna
names
do
either.
Shadow's
top
laughing
15
because he
because
realizes
I
how
will say
little I
this
know.
is a very easy list to get. So, top 15 best Destiny 2 characters according to Ranker. Mr. Castle, please give me your first guess.
Okay, I think most people would vote Cade as number one.
Cade is the number 1. So that is a great guess. I feel like that's like
That was
cliche
obvious.
best character in Destiny 2. Good job on getting number 1. Mr. Shadow, what is your guess of another character in the top 15?
I've got to go with Zavala.
Zavala's number 4. Great guess. Actually, a lot.
Ooh.
I thought he was going to be number 2.
Dude,
Whenever I
I-
first looked at this list, I thought he was going to be number 2. Yo, rest in peace to the Zavala character as well too. I can't think of
okay,
his
that's
name.
who I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean he's very present in a lot of the story, even dating back to D1. So it's like I feel like when you just ask yourself like, who are the characters that are in the game, he just comes to mind. But it's potential. Maybe the reason why he's not number 2 is because everyone knows him, but maybe they don't like him as much as whoever's
I
at
feel
number
like
2.
he
I really
may
interested to see
be
who's there.
one of the least liked vanguards, but maybe I'm
Oh,
wrong.
yeah.
Maybe that's just
It's
me.
because he's boring and likes the rules. You know?
Well, he
He's
falls
turning
at number
around
4.
though.
So
He's turning around. He did show some like the grace he showed to whatever the heck his name is. Crow. Is that his name? No.
yeah.
The like when he like whenever he's like lifting him up. Like, have you seen the shot where like he's got his like Crow's got his gun at Cade and then it shows the same shot, but he's like picking
Yeah.
Crow up. That's so freaking cool.
Actually, so
True.
Destiny the game actually tweeted that screenshot this past couple of days, and then there's a community footnote on Twitter that says
I saw
these
that.
cutscenes are actually not in the video game right now.
Oh wow.
It's so funny. It was perfect. All right, Luke, give me your guess. Top 15 best Destiny 2 characters.
I'm not this isn't my guess, but is the Traveler a character?
The Traveler is number 11, actually. Yes.
Oh
Great
wow.
guess.
Okay.
All right.
I wanted to be creative. I don't care if it was in the
You
top
are
10.
so quirky and creative. Good
I'm
job.
so quirky.
You got number 11. It's actually a paracausal entity, is what it says. So, yeah.
Cool.
So
I
there's
don't
that.
care.
So back to you, Mr. Castle. Next guess.
Oh man.
You guys are three for three so far.
Who would be number 2? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to aim for the top. I'm
You
torn.
get more points for the higher one, so number 2 is better than
I'm torn. Because I kind of want to say Zur. I feel like Zur is like everybody knows Zur, but what do I have? I have like Banshee in my mind too. I'm gonna go with Zur.
Zur
for
is number
2.
3. Zur
Ah,
falls at
number
number 3. You were
3?
close. You were close.
Okay.
I'm not gonna learn how to spell, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah, Zur falls at number 3. So you guys have 2 of the top 3 so far. Missing number 2. You have number 4 at Zavala. 11 is the Traveler. Mr. Shadow, you guys are 4 for 4 so far. I'm waiting for the first one to miss.
Okay, I was gonna say Zur as well, but since you said Zur, I'll go with Ikora.
Ikora is right in the top 10 at number 10.
Okay.
Great guess. 4 for 4. 5 for 5, actually. 5 for 5. Who's going to miss first? Mr.
Does
Luke?
all right, this isn't my guess, but are bosses characters? Or is this like NPC characters?
Based
Good question.
off
I mean, if the Traveler is a character, like I feel like Orcs would be a character.
Yeah.
based off what I see, there are like 90% like the NPCs in the character
Okay.
in this. Yeah, I don't see anything. And if it is a boss, then it's a boss that
Okay.
yeah,
Osiris.
yeah. Osiris. Osiris is a good one. That is the first L.
Wow, people don't like Osiris.
Really?
Osiris is at number 27.
Wow, I
Yes.
disagree with that.
First L. And this
Wow.
is there are 46 in total here. So he is 27.
Wow, no shot.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was a
Not in
good
the top
guess.
10.
I would put him a little higher.
Boner.
I would put him higher too. He definitely has the most drip when it comes to
Yeah.
Yeah,
when it
Alright.
comes to anybody
and he
in
has a
the
beard.
game.
Well.
All right, that was the first L. First L. So you guys were on a streak there. So back to you, Castle.
We've already mentioned. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll go. A safe one's got to be Banshee. Banshee's got to be at the top or near somewhere.
There's no. I don't think he is. I bet he's 46.
Oh,
No
he's
way.
number 17, right outside of the
No
top 15.
way.
Banshee
Oh my-
is number 17.
Come on.
Yeah, that was
Banshee's
close.
a classic.
That was close.
Ugh.
All right.
I'm telling you, there's someone here that there's like 2 or 3 in the top 15 that I will probably have to give you guys, but oh goodness. All right, you guys are 0 for 2 in the last 2. Shadow, you got to get back on the streak here, my
this is
friend.
brutal,
What you got?
man. Bring us back, Shadow.
I'm going with Saladin.
Saladin is number. Wait, no, Saladin is 16, right
What?
outside, bro.
All
I
right, I know mine now. I know
I got to
mine
mix
now.
up with somebody else. Yeah, he is. So Saladin's 16, Banshee is 17, right outside the top. So dang, over 3. Where we at, boys? Luke,
All right, I'm
back at
getting
it.
it back. Shax.
Jax is number 2. I
Yes,
thought that's who you.
sir.
I thought that's who you said there for a second. Shadows.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, kind of like, oh. So I
And
have the list
people
right
really
here.
like
Shax
Shax
is-
that much. That's kind of surprising to me.
Number 2. Okay.
He has some
I
good
mean,
voice lines.
It's because he did stuff with Mara, right? That's why people like him.
Hey, I was gonna say Mara. Is
that your
Mara
guess?
on the list? Yeah.
Mara Sov.
There's just been so much.
She is in the top 15, sitting at 13, actually.
13.
I actually don't disagree with that. She should easily be number 1, but that's just my opinion.
I think she should be, right on top of Shax. So,
Whoa. Or underneath, one of the two. Depends on how you feel. All right, you guys are back on the hot streak here. Mr. Who's next?
Shadow's
I
next.
think we kinda went
Shadow.
out of order. I don't know.
Where are we
Do-
at,
do
my
you guys-
friend?
we all go?
Shadow,
say?
you go.
I'm up. Okay, I'll go Saint 14.
Ooh. He's number 7.
Yes.
Number 7. Top 10 gamer over here. Saint 14. Lovely. All right, you guys are filling in. We got 1, we got 2, 3, 4, missing 5, missing 6, 8, 9, 14, and 15. So
All right.
you guys have
Let's
gotten a lot of the
see.
obvious ones.
All right. I got my next one. The Drifter.
Great guess. Great
Oh,
guess.
yeah,
Number
good.
6. Number 6. That was a great guess.
Good point.
I was kind of concerned with Drifter because it's like the association with Gambit might make him be like.
Apparently his personality is carrying this ranking right now because Gambit damn sure ain't.
I would personally rank him pretty high. I do like his personality. He's funny.
Oh goodness.
True, right?
All right, back to you, Castle. You guys are doing really well.
God.
Wait, so did we say that villains are included in this? Like how much are you said there was a small amount of them that were?
Yeah, there's no like bosses. Like
Right.
I will say that orcs is not in the list. It's
Right,
basically
okay.
NPCs, characters that are in the game that we can interact with or that have like cutscenes and stuff like that. So
And I'm just counting. We have 1, 2, we have 5 left.
yes, you're missing 5. You're missing
Okay.
8, 9,
Would
12, 14, and 15.
like Exo Stranger be in there?
Yes, at number 9.
No way.
She
Yeah.
cracked the top 10.
Oh my god.
Wait, it's Elsie. But let's put some
yeah, Elsie
respect
Bray.
on the name here, okay?
Elsie
fair.
Bray.
Fair.
All right. So still missing a top 5 at number 5.
Eris.
Eris. Oh, I don't think I saw Eris in the top 15.
Oh, man, that's a
Eris
good-
is, Eris
good
is
call,
sitting at
too.
number
That should have
20.
been
Sitting
okay.
at number 20. I guarantee you this probably may not be as updated with the new season, so she's probably at 20, but I guarantee you she'd probably be higher up.
Yeah, fair.
All right.
Let's see. Okay. All right, that was an L on that one. Where we at?
Anna Bray.
Anna Bray is not in the top 15. She's sitting at 24.
That's stupid.
24, right behind Eris. Yeah, not far behind Eris. So
I'm running out of. God.
okay, I will give you a hint.
Wait, what about like Savathun?
Sabathoon's a great guess, sitting at 15. Yes,
Oh,
great
let's go.
guess.
I don't know anymore. I won't. I will. I don't
Sabathoon
know.
is a great guess. I will say that think outside of the box here.
Oh, I
I
got one. I
believe
got
you
one.
guys have gotten all of the actual like obvious ones. The leftovers,
I'm
so you're
toast.
missing 5. You're missing 8 and 14. These are very and 12. Are we missing 12 and 12? So these 4, I will say, are not like people, like
All right.
physical humans.
Since you said they're not people and they're outside of the box, I'm going with the Colonel for my guess.
Are you talking about the chicken?
Yes.
Yes, that's number
Dude,
5.
Are you kidding? The
Yes.
chicken.
I did
got the
not think you
chicken.
guys were gonna get that. Good job.
I would have never got that.
Holy shit. I did not think that was the one that I'm like, there's no way they get this. There's no way
Oh
they
my
think about
god! I can't believe you got
it. And it
that.
says race.
The Colonel is like a great character.
Great guess. Oh my gosh. I did not think y'all were gonna get that. All right, 3 more and still in that same hint. So think
All
about
right.
it.
I'm just gonna say Ghost. Like, is Ghost in
Yes.
general? Okay, Ghost.
Great
Oh
guess.
my god!
Ghost sits right behind the Traveler at number 12.
Woohoo!
Dude,
I'm out of ideas.
Dinklebot, man. Where we at with Dinklebot? I wish we still had Dinklebot.
Yeah, I've
I
been
can't
watching,
even-
yeah, I've been watching.
So
Game
you're
of Thrones
missing
with the fan.
2 more out of the top 15. You guys have done a great job so far. Sitting at number 8, you're missing 8, and you're missing 14. 8 and 14.
These are all of the names I could possibly think of. The only other option I had was Ghost. I was like,
Oh no. All right,
I need-
think about as a team here.
yeah.
Brainstorm.
We're gonna brainstorm the
Luke.
team now.
All right,
Okay.
Emissary of the Nine.
No, but that was a great
Oh,
guess.
wow.
That was a great guess. I did see
I was
her
gonna
on
say
the
that.
list here.
I was gonna say that robot
sitting-
dog.
Oh yeah.
Emissary of the Nine is Orin the Lost is her name, and she's sitting at 33.
Okay.
The dog I did not see on the
It's
list.
probably not updated enough for the dog.
Yeah. No, I
Right.
did not see on the list. Let me just go ahead and tell you real quick the bottom 5, because this will be pretty hilarious. The lowest on the list is Arak Jalal, the Dead Orbit NPC.
That's
Right
random.
above him is Brother Vance. Right above that one is Toland. Apparently everybody hates Toland. Commander
So-
Sloan and Lakshmi 2 are the bottom 5.
I was just thinking, who's the Astacross character? I think Shahan.
Yeah.
Where's he on the list?
Shahan. Where,
He's
oh
there.
my gosh, no way he is. I don't see him on here. He may not be
Is it
included.
that unupdated? Like, it's literally the.
Wow. Yeah, I guess. No, there's a lot of like updated characters on here though.
Huh. Weird.
No, I did not see
Wait,
Shahan
what
on the
about?
list.
What
Okay.
about?
Does
Oh,
the
yeah,
darkness count as a character?
What?
The Darkness? No.
You know what? I
No.
respect the effort, actually, Shadow.
What
No,
about?
that's a
Failsafe?
great guess though.
You said think outside the
Fail-safe.
box. So.
True,
Great
true.
guess. Failsafe sits at I just saw him 23.
Dang.
23. No, I am very surprised.
Wait,
right above
here's
Anna
another one.
Bray.
Rasputin.
Great guess, Luke. Number
Oh,
8.
wow.
Good job. Number 8 is
that was
Rasputin.
top 15.
We are missing one more.
Yeah, that was number 8.
You guys are missing number 11. No,
Wait, who's the
14. You guys are missing number 14.
Spider guy who did all the
Spider
currency?
Not in the top
The
15.
Spider?
No. Where is Spider though? Because I did see him on here.
man.
Spider. Where are you? Spider is in number 40. Wow.
Holy, okay.
Hates the Spider. Okay.
You're saying this one's still not human? Like this is
Still not human. Nope.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
um
Hmm.
we're gonna guess it, so don't give us any more tips.
No, I won't.
What's
I
what's
won't.
the guy that everyone hates? Well, unless you'd consider him human. On
Wait, is it
Neptune.
human or humanoid? Like it, like
Yeah,
are these
human or
things
humanoid.
It is not a humanoid at all.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
It is a being.
What's his name though? Shadow. Everyone hates him.
Which one?
Nimbus or something. What's his
Oh
Nimbus.
no, no, no! It's
Nobody
not
likes
Nimbus.
Nimbus.
No, it's not Nimbus.
Oh man.
This must have been before.
Yeah,
This had to have
Nimbus
been
would be
before
last if
Lightfall.
this was updated.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
I'm
Okay,
trying to
what
think.
era? Do you know what era this character? Like, has this character been around for a long time? Do you know?
Since Beyond Light, like a little after Beyond Light, this character's been in
Oh,
the game.
okay. Hmm.
Came with it came in with an expansion, like a seasonal expansion.
My mind is just completely.
I feel like
Blank.
I feel like we can. I'm like searching my brain.
Luke was on the right track with the dog.
Is there another like robot animal? The cat? Is there a cat? Or is it the bunny that runs across
No,
on the
no, this
EDZ?
has a name. It has a name.
Clovis Bray.
No, Clovis Bray is on the list.
Holy man.
Clovis Bray is behind all of his freaking daughters. Number 37.
Behind all his daughters.
I'm like, I
This
need
is
to
the
just be
hardest one
searching-
out of the whole group. Other but behind the chicken, I never thought you guys would have gotten the fucking chicken. bro.
Yeah,
I
the
swear to
fact
God.
that he got
Yeah,
Colonel.
I never would have thought. I was like, y'all are gonna be here for hours thinking about the damn Colonel.
Oh my
But
god.
It's another non-humanoid. Think about other animals in this game.
So it's an animal. It's an animal.
Watch like the creators of the list just completely troll us and put like the Nessus like dragonfly or something.
No, this has
Yeah.
a name. This
Super
animal
obscure
has
animal.
a name.
Okay.
The animal has a name, and
You can interact with this animal.
you can interact with it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Once you guys think of it, you're gonna be like, wow.
You can interact. Is it the animal in Titan? The
I don't
big
know.
giant? No, that would have been too soon. From a couple seasons
Yeah.
ago. No, it wouldn't have been that.
I can't believe Yeah.
An animal. Like what the heck animals are in this game? There's no monkeys. There's no fishies.
I don't play enough.
There's no.
This animal is in a social space.
Is it a bird?
It's an
It's
animal.
linked. It's linked to another
wait a
character.
second. Is it freaking Sloane's eagle that like head
No,
flies
no,
over
no,
his
no,
head?
no,
that's-
no.
that's why I was like, is
that's
it
a
a
great
bird?
guess. No, that's a great guess. It's
Yeah.
not Sloane's hawk. No. This character you can get loot from this character.
What?
It is in a
Oh
social
my god, the
space.
horse?
The horse.
Yes,
The
it's the Star
horse.
Horse.
Oh my
It's the
god.
Star Horse, bro.
Oh, that doesn't count. That's
Oh my
It's
god.
a character, bro. It's a
Unreal.
character. It's the freaking Star Horse at
As soon
number
as you said
14.
interact, I'm like,
that's a pretty
of
cool character.
course.
It's a
can see that.
badass character. That's the
It
coolest
is a
horse
pretty
I've ever seen.
badass character. Yeah.
I guess
Animal, yeah.
technically it's been in the game since Prophecy's come out because it's at the end of Prophecy. Is that not the same
Yes.
horse?
True.
Because
I
if you
don't
see
know.
like in the
Yeah.
outer rim, they have the Star Horse.
Holy
Yeah,
man.
I don't know what the lore says if they're the same thing or not. But
Yeah, yeah,
No,
true.
but that was a great. I saw those and I was like, do we have to? The top 10 would have been way too easy, but you guys did great. Star Horse sits at number 14. Can y'all believe it?
Unreal.
Holy moly. That was
That was
good. I
tough.
love those, dude. I love
we did
guessing
it. We didn't even need help.
You
or
did
anything.
great. You did great. You didn't even need one hint. Not one.
Not even one. We would have
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
gotten
that's right.
out of the escape room without any hints.
Yeah.
You
We
made
didn't
it.
need
That
to
was
know it was an
good.
animal. Not
I
for
still
one
can't
moment.
believe Shadow just is it the chicken? Colonel?
Yeah, the chicken.
He
Yeah.
said it by the name too. He didn't even say chicken. He just
Yeah,
said
Shadow
it's
should
Colonel.
win for that alone because
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
even know what
I
that chicken
agree.
is.
Oh my goodness. Good job. Good job. I don't know if you guys so we talked about before the podcast talking about a hot take. So whether you guys have come up with something, preferably Destiny related, of course. Or if you have something that's just kind of always been like an opinion that you just stand by, that you will die on that hill. If there's anything that you guys would like to share before we kind of wrap up because we are running short on time here. So
So I'm not 100% sure how hot this take is. I'm sure
oh,
there's a
okay.
decent
Could be
amount of people
lukewarm.
that
Who knows?
agree. But I think something really needs to change with the loot in this game because it has been, I'm not gonna lie, it's been years since I've like really, really, really wanted a piece of loot in the game. Like
Okay.
it's been a really long time since I've been like, oh my gosh, I absolutely need to get this. Because the truth is I already have things that do the same thing or do it better. It's like I already have like tons and tons and tons of weapons and exotics and stuff that, I like using and they accomplish everything that I need to do in the game. So it's like even if I do get 1% improvement from getting this other piece of loot, it's not very motivating to me. So I think there needs to be some huge massive change with regards to the loot and reward structure in the game. I don't know
We
if that involves like Destiny 3 or sunsetting or I don't know,
We
some
talked
other
about this
thing,
a
but
lot last
yeah.
podcast, Shadow. We talked about like Destiny, like getting a reset button, or like Destiny really needs some type of like power creep like stabilizer or like sunsetting, like you said, sunsetting kind of, but just done right, and
Yeah.
I'm on the side of like when final shape hits, do like a red war type thing, wipe us fucking clean of shit that we got and let us go at it again. I would love to have just like a clean slate, and I know I'm probably a minority. That's the hot take then, is in a way, is to make it where the new loot is, you know, excited to achieve and go after. Because I'm with you on this one as well too. There aren't very many things in this game that I've like strived to get recently, and Necrochasm was kind of a little bit there, but since I didn't do day one, I'm just kind of lollygagging around until it just plops into my inventory one day.
Yep.
Um, and then of course, hopefully next season your boy can get my crafted ancient gospel. That's what I've been waiting for the longest time. So,
Dude,
Yeah.
so
but
I think that you all right, so I have the screenshot here because we talked about this last week and I sent this to Maddox, from Mano Destra, one of our buddies.
yes, yes,
Because last week we talked a lot about this, like why loot isn't exciting to get anymore. And I think I was trying to explain it, and I think Mano like said it better basically in this tweet. He was replying to someone else's tweet about something similar. He says it's because it's a 6-year-old game and a decade-old franchise. The only thing that will trigger your dopamine hit will be Destiny 3 or whatever comes after. I love Destiny 2, but it's the 7-year itch in video game terms. I thought that was like a perfect way to explain how I feel
absolutely.
about it because it's like I'm with you, Shadow. Like I'm in the same boat. Like I think most of us are, but like I think the thing that gets us to the next point is I don't really want a wipeout, maybe like because I do like the stuff that I have still. And I really hated when they did that to us in Red War. And then we eventually just made our way back to everything we had from D1. And I don't want it to be like that same kind of thing where we get wiped out and then we get everything we had from D2 because it's not is this nostalgic because it's everything we got from D1 kind of. Um, it's like a whole new thing, like new weapon types, new archetypes, like new everything, new
Yep.
solar system, new story, new whatever. I don't know. I think that's what really will like trigger, like it said, he said the dopamine in my mind to be excited about getting something else. I think it's just been so like we've just been chilling here playing this game for so long that it's tough to figure out what's going to change that other than a full system change. So like, yeah,
Mm,
Yep.
I think that's a good hot topic, Shadow, because it is something that we all agree on, but I think everyone has like a different opinion on what would
Yeah.
actually make it better,
And
right?
it's not like there's one good solution either, because like
oh,
every
absolutely not.
proposed solution that you've talked about has downsides as well. And
Mhm.
for some people, those downsides are a huge deal. Like personally, I'd be fine with wiping everything clean, but for you, it's a different story. So it can vary between person to person.
Yep.
Yeah, I think their concept of sunsetting that they had sounded great, but it was just not the right time for it. You know what I'm saying? Like what they did in Taken King, whenever Taken King, like the whole new light system, power leveling system where things just like completely changed and like, hey, you guys now have this whole light system and powering up system where you're going to need let your stuff chill in the back. You can use it in Crucible, you can do this and that and the lower tier stuff, whenever you're, creating a new guardian, you can use all that stuff then. But now it's time to like, let's give you all this new stuff where things are going to start creeping in. You're going to start getting a whole new weapon inventory, and you're going to start letting go of that stuff you got whenever you first started the game, because there's better stuff, better and newer, weapons and armor and stuff like that coming to the forefront. And I think that's what they kind of wanted to do again. And that's kind of the sense that I got whenever sunsetting was a thing, but it just didn't happen whenever it did. I feel like Final Shape would have been like a great thing to like, hey guys, sunsetting, this is what it is. This is what we want to accomplish with it, but we're not going to do it just yet. We're going to let you guys enjoy what you have. You have your recluse, you have your mountaintop, different stuff at the time, because that's when this time happened. And yeah, get that stuff out of here because it was awful. But
No, it wasn't. It was fun.
but
I'm against you on sunsetting. I think that's stupid that they got rid of stuff we paid for, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Well, there's a big difference between content sunsetting and weapon sunsetting.
Well,
yeah, God, like the DCV and stuff like that.
I know, but I'm like in the realm of like I want them to just like this is probably gonna kill you guys because I just want the game to be broken always, and it's just like there's something that's meta that's just stupid and it makes it not fun for other players. But I feel like a god. That's kind of how I like
get
to play video games.
Hey, your aggressive frame Amit.
But
That
no
was
one else thinks that,
the
so like
greatest
I
time
usually
ever.
don't state my opinion on it too often. But sunsetting content though, you're right. It is two different things, and
Yeah.
they had to do it because no one was using anything else. It's the same exact thing that happened in D1 when people only used Fatebringer, Black Hammer,
Hammer, and
Gjallarhorn. Like when they
Gjallarhorn,
used
yeah.
those three together, that was like what everyone used, and
Mhm.
they had to figure out a way to make it so that not everyone would. They wanted people to use the new guns they were creating, right? They wanted the
I
game to
feel
feel
like
different.
it's not quite the same though, because like in D2 in D1 when they did Taken King and Sunset stuff, like there's literally hundreds of new things to go get. Meanwhile, in Beyond Light, it's like, oh, we just sunset like 300 guns, or I don't know, it was a lot of guns, and then they gave us like 35 new weapons, and it was like this is not enough to replace everything we just
Yeah,
lost. So I think that's also a pretty big component of why it was received so poorly.
I agree.
I mean, that's
I'm with you.
yeah, Beyond Light. Yeah, you said Beyond Light came out. Well, we talked about this last week as well too. Like there was maybe like 15 or 20 new things to go after and get that they wanted to like replace our whole entire inventory with 20 weapons. Like what the hell do they expect us to do? Like obviously like there's like I guess I'm stuck on this. Like it was good. It was a good idea, but it just wasn't at the right time because
Well,
what they wanted us to replace it with was so few
yeah, there's
and
like nothing like if you're gonna do that, give us something just as good, if not better, that's more fun to use. Don't give us 5 guns that aren't they're
yeah,
just
like
not
Europa
I
had like 4 or 5 weapons to get.
I'm telling you, I felt like Destiny wasn't as much fun because I had just had a weapon that I was really like this is how it is with any game. Like when I find the weapon or the thing that makes me have fun in the game, if it gets taken away and there's not like another thing that's just as fun for me to use, it's tough to be excited about it. And I think that happened to a lot of people.
Absolutely.
I think that happened to a lot of people during that season of time in Destiny. Now, I think we're back to being probably pretty overpowered at this point, but
Oh yeah. I
that's
mean,
because there's all
anybody.
kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
and Shadow was talking about like there's so many things that I have in my inventory that I'm like I can accomplish anything in this game with because it's just that overpowered, and there's nothing that you need to go get right now that's going to prevent you from creating or completing a grandmaster. Like we have a content creator above that does grandmasters with like blindfolds on or some shit because the game is just that
While
easy or whatever.
backwards, upside
Yeah,
down.
or like with triple primary bullshit. Like he makes it harder on himself because we're just that overpowered in this video game. And I just there is a point where I'm just like, man, I really wish I could get excited to go get a new weapon
Yeah.
and it hasn't happened anytime soon. And I can't think of anything that's coming up that's gonna make me excited because it damn sure ain't Dragon's Breath. It damn sure ain't Red Death or Kvostov.
I'm excited
Yeah.
about Red Death. I love Red Death.
It's got to be a completely new weapon though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
What's
just saying right now, I'm excited about Red
Yeah.
Death.
I know. So it's funny. So am I. But then like, I think Mano. I really think Mano. Like I've thought that way since the very beginning.
Mhm.
If you think about it, like D2 has been out for so long now. Like, has it been 6 or 7 years? Like 2017 to now,
Yeah.
obviously. So, um, like D1, it's not like, oh, it was better in D1. D1 didn't have to exist for 7 years. D1 had D2 come in and save the day. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, I know D2 didn't launch well, but it was like the new hype thing, right? D1 didn't have to last that long. Um, I also was shocked. Like, so I made a video on why sunsetting was good. And let me tell you, earlier we talked about, being afraid of the community flaming you. I
Mhm.
was like the one guy was like, yeah, sunsetting is the right, from like an engineering logical on paper. I was like, you guys, of course, we're going to end up with 800 hand cannons if we don't sunset. We need to sunset. It's a requirement, not even a preference. It's a requirement. But man, did they just execute it so poorly. Like I
Yeah.
feel like Destiny 2 should have launched with sunsetting already in mind. Like from the get-go, I was like, how did they not learn from D1? Like, how did they not realize that, like, okay, we're probably gonna have to like sunset, a year into D2, maybe 2 years in, but like we're not sunsetting too much at once, and we're gonna make sure that we have like 1.5x the content. So like if you're sunsetting 100 things, all right, you better have 150 things to chase. Like you better have more things to chase than what you're sunsetting every time you sunset. Um, or at least equal. And like different too, because that's the other problem. Is like people are like, oh great, I have to regrind my Astral Horizon or whatever it was. Like
Oh,
I can't
dude,
remember.
I was about to say they're doing an even worse version of it now, in my opinion, where like
Yeah,
these trials weapons, like, oh, we finally get the Astro back. All it has is a new fucking perk on it, like that no one gives a
dude.
fuck about.
I talked about this in one of my videos like ages ago. And I think there's like 6 six versions of the mind bender. Like if you go back and you look at the history, like okay, the first came out like this. Okay, then it came out like this with these different perks. Okay, then these two perks got retired. Okay, then and it's like, holy crap, you can own 6 different types of mind bender. Like that's not okay, you know?
Mhm. And Messenger. Oh my god, I have like 4 different versions of a Messenger because of all
Same.
the different
They all
times that
they
it's
all
come
look
out.
their
Like,
icons all
Yeah,
look different too, and
yeah,
which
like
one
one
loses
has
which.
celerity on it because that was the perk that it used to be, and then now one of them has the so and so on it or whatever. And now it's the same thing with Igneous Hammer. We have like 3 different versions of the Igneous Hammer.
totally.
And it's just like that's even
Yeah.
worse in my opinion. I'd rather that gun just be gone and give me a new like solar 180 or something, or like a void was something just different and
Yeah.
to chase after it, and
They
that has the new
struggle
perk on it and stuff like that. I don't know.
there it's almost an impossible thing too, which is why I come back to Mano's thing about like, well, we've been playing this game for 10 years now. Like it's not nothing will feel as exciting as when that come on, Vex Mythoclast dropped for
Yeah,
people in D1.
you
Like
got your
it's
first
just
Gjallarhorn or
yeah, like how can it be? And then
right.
like I know a lot of people use the argument of like, well, people still play Counter-Strike. Like it's not a looter shooter. Like it's different. It's harder. Yes, people still play like World of Warcraft and like I understand. Again, that's not the same as
But
Destiny,
all
but
those
like
games have resets in some way, like Diablo. Diablo has seasonal resets where you have to start a new character
right.
every single season. If you want to play the new content, you have to have a new character.
Yeah, it's just not easy to keep people engaged for 10 plus years. Um, especially when it's from like I need to chase, especially when it's a loot perspective. Like something like Counter-Strike has been out since I don't even know, 1995. Like the reason why people still play it is because like they aren't necessarily trying to chase the op or the AK-47. Like it's just there's a completely different dynamic to that game that keeps people interested forever. So yeah, I don't know. Sunsetting was a requirement. I felt like on paper, they could not have executed it worse. And then crafting, God, don't even get me started on crafting. I thought crafting
That's a whole nother horse to jump on, or
it
whatever the hell the
is.
saying is. I don't
It's
even
like
know.
sunsetting was supposed to be the solution to power creep, but like
Yeah,
crafting, and this is coming from
made it
someone
worse.
who was I was exciting like about crafting, and I'm the first one to admit when I feel like I'm wrong. Like I'm okay if I'm like, no, past self was wrong and I thought crafting was an incredible idea. I genuinely did. But when you think about it in retrospect, it's like, okay, we really don't. We really have to be careful about this whole power creep thing. So let's hand out the god roll for every weapon archetype in the game.
God, the way
It's
you
just,
said that just pissed me off, like, because it's like so true.
but it's like that's what they did, and like
Absolutely.
again, I loved it, and I loved it. I was like, finally, I can just go get what I want and level it up, and I have what I want. Like on, it just sounded so amazing. But in retrospect, I'm like, yeah, wait, how is that not going to create power creep? The only way they can make you more excited than what you've crafted is by making a better gun, which is the definition of power creep. So it's like, I don't know, it's a tricky one for sure. I always feel like they should have just allowed people to like just re-roll their weapons. Maybe, I don't know,
Yeah, they had
some
that whole
form of like,
reforge thing back in D1 where like you spent a lot to like trade one perk out or something like that.
yeah, I did it a lot. I loved
Mhm.
it, and I would grind and grind and like until I got that lucky roll. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one for sure.
Great point there, Mr. Shadow. That was a good that was a good
Yeah.
point because I feel like we took that one and ran with it.
Yeah,
Yep. Everyone has some opinions on it, so
yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Awesome. Well, is there anything else that you guys have any questions or Luke, anything else you guys want to
I think
touch
we're
on?
wrapping. We hit our time limit. So I want you both to shout yourselves out. Let us know if you have any like projects you're working on or whatever. We would love to hear real quick before we sign off.
I'll let you go first, there, Shadow.
well, you can find me on YouTube at Shadow Destiny, and well, I'm working on a lot of super secret projects that I can't talk about yet, but
Ooh,
stay tuned.
This guy.
okay.
I'm definitely going
When
to
will they drop? Can
subscribe
you give us like a deadline? Where we at?
We don't know.
Oh my.
someday. Are we gonna
We'll
get
be
a
excited for it.
shadow? Are we gonna get a shadow Call of Duty, a shadow
No.
FIFA, a shadow like a shadow for everything?
If Destiny ever stops existing, perhaps, but until then, we're Shadow Destiny.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good question. You can find me on pretty much everywhere, just Castle content, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, whatever. But obviously my focus is on YouTube. And for upcoming projects, I mean player population is pretty low, so it's been a bit of a scramble to try and think of things that people will be interested in. I guess I will. I'm doing a project that I'm fairly nervous about that I don't know if
Ooh,
it'll do well or not. I'm trying to step out of my comfort zone.
we love that.
Um, so it's going to be a Trials of Osiris challenge, which in itself, I'm like, oh boy, nobody plays PvP. No one's going to
It'll be
want to
tough.
watch this, but I'm trying to incorporate the Hot Ones challenge where you're like, you eat those spicy wings. They get spicier as you go. So I want to, I won't go into details, but
Interesting.
basically I want to see if I can incorporate the Hot Ones challenge into something that's not
That
scripted. But
that
I'm kind of
sounds
nervous, so
awesome.
we'll see how it goes.
Is this gonna be like a solo challenge, or do you have some other gamers that are gonna be with you?
I have some other gamers that are going to be with me. Yeah, I had
Okay.
to buy them the box so that we could all do it together. Yeah,
Hell
but
yeah, that's awesome. That what's the deadline on that? Do we have an idea of when that might be up?
in November, we'll see.
November. Okay.
Yeah, shipping
Awesome.
times aren't exactly the best for Canada.
There better be
That's fine.
webcams for this, right? Like we were gonna be able to see
Yeah,
it.
no, for sure.
Yeah.
There'll be webcams. Yeah, but I don't know how it's going to turn out. Maybe nobody clicks on it, but I don't know. We'll
I'm
see.
clicking on it.
Fuck, I will.
That's
That
what
sounds awesome.
I'm
that's the
nervous.
interesting stuff. Right. This is why they're where they're at, right, Mannix? They got
Right.
ideas like that. That's smart. I would watch that. That's awesome.
We'll see how she goes.
Hey, real quick, I just want to touch because it just reminded me of Sir D tweeted this out the other a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, or if you follow Sir D.
I'm pretty sure.
But he's just like he just tweeted out. He's like, "Where's all the good content in the Destiny community? It's all just people want to just teach and guide and news and stuff like that. There's no creative content anymore in the community. It's very, very rare. And so for people that can make stuff like that and be successful and have a community based around it and share that content with others, fucking A, dude, good shit for you guys. And I feel like y'all are two very obvious examples of that.
Yeah, I wish I
So
would have saw that. I would have put all my friends that are good at content under there, like these two.
I think I did see a chat. Weren't you like, okay, I'll keep trying?
Yeah.
Wait a second, I did
Wait,
see
did you
that.
comment on it, Shadow?
Yeah, I did. He was saying something. I think he was saying entertainment might have been the word he used, where it was like, it's a lot of stuff is just news. Like, oh, here's the news. Here's the top. There's nothing
Here's the
wrong with it,
Bob, yeah.
but it's like the content where it's more focused on entertainment rather than news delivery has that ratio has dwindled over the years.
Absolutely.
It really has.
Absolutely.
That's a good point. Like,
I miss watching Trials highlights with KJ Hovey and True Vanguard together
Yeah.
back in Destiny
Those
1
are
where
the
they
days,
just
hey?
shit on people and went flawless. It was great.
yeah.
Oh
God.
gosh.
Awesome.
Well, hey, thanks for having us on, you guys.
We
Yeah,
appreciate you guys
it's
being
great.
here, man. Thanks for coming on. You guys share a lot of wisdom with your community and with us tonight, of course. So we really appreciate that because we learned from it as well too, which is nice. So
Yeah, dude, it
Cool.
was awesome just chatting with you guys. It felt nice. It was a nice Sunday chat, getting to talk,
little
get to catch
Sunday
up.
with the boys
Heck
Well,
yeah!
right on.
But
as I watch my
awesome.
fantasy team dwindle in the
Yeah,
hopes of
I lost both my games against them.
Oh yeah.
I'm officially
Oh, goodness.
1-8 in fantasy.
Oh
Oh
my
my.
gosh. I'm hopefully about to be 5-2. So we'll see. But thank you guys for joining. Anybody that's listening that made it all the way to the end, we appreciate you. And if you guys don't know who these people are, then you live under a rock. But please go follow Shadow Destiny on YouTube and Castle Content on YouTube. Subscribe, watch their videos, and while you're on YouTube, go head on over to the Destiny Nerds podcast. Hit subscribe there as well too. Find us on all of our short form contents on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. We will see you guys in 2 weeks. We got some other peeps lined up, and other than
Do we?
that,
Do we?
we do.
Sweet.
Awesome.
And by that, I mean pending.
Awesome.
Oh goodness.
All right,
No,
everybody.
actually, we won't be back for 3 weeks because in 2 weeks I will be celebrating my 1-year wedding
Oh
anniversary.
yeah,
Which
congrats,
holy shit, I can't believe it's
dude.
already
I
happening.
can't believe
So,
it's been a year since we were hanging out at
yeah,
your wedding.
it's about to be a year since I had like life altering surgery too. So that's hard to believe that
Good times.
I have metal in my
Yeah.
knee.
Good point. I completely forgot. That's so wild.
I can't believe that's almost a year ago. I don't
Yeah,
even think
it's
about it.
almost been
Yeah,
a year
true.
since. I don't have a thing. I just wanted to say that.
Okay.
Shut
All
up.
right.
Bye, Luke.
Yeah,
All right.
see you tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We will see you next time. Have an awesome evening. Goodbye.
Peace.